Hey everybody, my name is Michael White. I'm the sales rep for Sitka Gear in the Rocky Mountain region, and I'm here in my showroom hosting the folks from BlackOvis, which is one of our absolute top accounts nationwide.
Yeah.
They do a phenomenal job of servicing and supporting their customers who come to the website. But one question that I wanted to kind of open up and dialogue with you about, John, is something that I get asked quite a bit amongst consumers in the marketplace, whether it's at a demo day, a TAC event, a dealer event, and it invariably leads to this sort of question of where they're confused about how to build their system, what to build, and what sort of things to put together. And I wanted to run something by you because what I've done over the years is I've just sort of created what I call my 4 S's. My 4 S's when I talk to a customer and I'm initially explaining the Sitka product line to them, I tell them if there were 4 things that I wanted them to think about in building their Sitka system, it would be these 4 S's: skin to shell and stack and shed. And generally what I mean by that is I want the consumer to ultimately think about what product mix they can put together that's going to be versatile and address their needs from next to their skin to mid-layer and insulative pieces to the shell, which is terminally where you're trying to protect yourself from the environment. That's the whole skin to shell system. But also I think the versatility comes into play when we're talking about stacking and shedding. And what I mean by that is, what products do I need to put on throughout the day based on variable weather conditions, or what products do I need to shed off back maybe into my pack because it's gotten warmer, those variable weather conditions are no longer there. And you've always talked about, I think it's what, an 8-piece system?
Clothing
yeah,
system,
an 8-piece system. And I got to thinking about how does the 8-piece clothing system also work within this, call it skin to shell, and stack and shed philosophy, because I fundamentally believe that a lot of hunters would find greater comfort in the field by utilizing those ideas and practices together.
Yeah, I think it's a real nice simplification, a nice acronym to remember, the 4 S's. At Sitka Gear, when, say as a big game product manager, I'm trying to build a system, right? So in this case, the 8-piece system. I might not have vocalized it that way, but that's exactly what we're thinking about. We're thinking about building a system. That system absolutely starts at the skin level. The base layer is the foundation of any clothing system. And then we are building out from there, but not just in putting layer over top of layer, but making sure that those textiles are optimized, that those styles are built to work together in this skin to shell system.
Right.
And then we're also thinking about what does that consumer have to do to either put something on or take something off. We want to build efficiency into a system, so we want to limit that as much as possible. But as an example, the lofted jacket, the puffy jacket, that is absolutely something that we're going to put on at certain points in time to trap our body heat, and that is going to work in unison with everything underneath. And then we're going to take it off before we go, and begin hiking again or moving on to stock. So that 4 S's is a great way for someone to remember basically the fundamentals of a technical clothing system.
Right, like, when I think skin to shell, I think immediately, okay, skin. What's the product that I'm gonna put next to my skin? Now, whether that's merino wool, whether that's a core lightweight hoodie, I want something next to my skin that's gonna ultimately give me good comfort, but most importantly, it's gonna keep my skin dry.
Absolutely.
And then after that, I want some sort of insulative material. Now that could come in the form of a heavier weight piece, like a heavyweight hoodie, or it could be one of our puffies. And I'm gonna vary my puffy based on what I could expect during that part of the season or the temperatures that I might expect. So those are things that I can now add to my skin system, where I'm going from skin to now insulation. And then ultimately, we also need to protect ourselves from the elements, whether that's wind through a windstopper piece like a Jetstream jacket, or whether that's rain, sleet, snow, or just any form of moisture through, like, let's say, a dew point. Ultimately, we also need to protect ourselves from those elements. So I think always about like at the skin level, I want stuff going from my skin away.
Yep.
But from the protective side, I want it to prevent things from coming in. And really the puffy stuff or the mid layer or insulative stuff, that's all temperature regulation. And generally those are the things that, you know, you're stacking in for your variable weather and temperatures, or you're shedding them off throughout the day. So I always think about, you know, skin to shell, stack and shed. And it's the 4 S's that I talk to consumers about a lot of times. And there are many times you see the light bulb go on and they're like, okay, now it kind of makes sense, because as you well know, I mean, our product line can get daunting.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I think what the consumer has to do after they think about the 4 S's is then they have to think about, how do they hunt? Where do they hunt? You know, what species are they going after, and what style are they using to do that in the pursuit? And then I think if they start to determine that, you know, you can walk into BlackOvis, go into a great retailer, have that conversation, know what you want, understand the basics, and then, you know, let them help you build a system that's going to give you exactly what you want. Because here's the thing that I say about a technical clothing system. There's really no wrong answers except don't wear cotton.
Right.
But what I really mean by that is you and I, and we've hunted together quite a bit, but you and I can be out on the same day, on the same hunt next to each other, and we can both be wearing something slightly different based on physiology and a bunch of other things, right? Nutrition, hydration, all those things. But we figured out the 4 S's are still the foundation of each of those systems.
Absolutely, and you also figure out what invariably works for you.
Correct.
In those you know, situations. It actually, as we're talking here, 2 additional S's came into my head, and that is, you know, after the 4 S's, you might modify it based on situation and seasonality. There are a lot of different ways that you can start to think about this if you use those 4 S's as the foundation for building your system.
Yeah, I think you've really come to something here. I think maybe we have to do a T-shirt or something with you know, 4 S's on the front, 2 S's on the back,
Exactly.
but it's super easy, because I think people make these technical layering systems more complicated than they need to be.
Right.
And I think, you know, understanding it at this very basic level really provides so much insight and knowledge for them to build and invest in a technical clothing system like Sitka, to really start to experience what the performance gains that they're going to get when they do that are.
Absolutely. Keep your skin dry, regulate your body temperature through stacking and shedding on insulative pieces, protect yourself from the elements with your shell. That's as basic as it gets.
Absolutely.